If you believe cultural appropriation is a real thing and needs to be criticized, you should stop eating foods from any other culture but your own. Seriously, someone likes the way a sari looks, or a type of music, or a particular way of applying makeup. Or maybe a hairstyle from another culture. 99% of the time it's called appreciation. Even admiration. If you believe that people should not borrow cultural things, you should cut out anything that is not traditionally part of yours. That includes your food. Eat only things that are of your country and culture. For much of the world that would narrow your menu dramatically if you can't integrate ingredients, tastes, cooking methods into what you know. When we see, share and sample each other's cultures, that's what brings us closer together. Let's add inventions also. Cultural diffusion/appropriation is one of the best ways to fight racism, so +1. As long as they are respectful about it and have good intentions, then I appreciate that they have taken interest in my culture. I saw someone get roasted on Twitter for saying that's my spirit animal and a picture of a sloth. This person was called all sorts of names, and racist, and threats, etc. It was honestly such an overaction, and also my first experience with people using the term cultural appropriation. Until then, I'd always thought sharing cultures was a positive thing. I think there are some terms that are important in an academic space to explain things, and then get appropriated by the masses and lose all their meaning because people don't understand the word and misuses it. In my knowledge, there is a difference between cultural appreciation and cultural appropriation. We have come to a time where you cannot appreciate and enjoy things because there comes the cultural police and tell you that you can't do or enjoy things because is not your culture. Doing so is very difficult in a cosmopolitan environment. Also, I believe that if you respect and learn about the culture in question, you can enjoy it. The only issue with cultural appropriation is when someone disrespects the culture it came from and the people in it. If what you're doing isn't considered sacred or whatever in that culture, then you should feel free to do it. Respect is key. One example is wearing war bonnets. You shouldn't do that because in indigenous culture it is earned and not everyone has the right to it. I mean, I do find it kinda weird that Americans seem to be obsessed with the idea of being Irish, like mate we're not that interesting, we just eat potatoes all day while it rains. I might die of dehydration from all the corned beef and cabbage I'd have to eat. But thank God I'm also part Sami, so I'd also be able to eat reindeer and fish. Love potatoes too, which is fine with me. SHHHH, don't break the circle jerks logic. For real, cultural appropriation police make me want to start a shotgun. I get what you're saying, but you have to admit it's obnoxious and insulting when college-age white girls roam through festivals in Native American headdresses while binge drinking Fireball and shrieking about living your best life. So I'm Indian and I got into an argument with a fellow Indian because she was mad about Starbucks serving chai tea latte. I was pretty firm on my stance that it's not cultural appropriation, and then she says she has a literature degree so she knows what she's talking about and I don't. I did not understand what that's got to do with anything. Then she got mad at Kim Kardashian for wearing Indian jewelry. For what exactly? Using race as a disqualifier is called racism. Cultural appropriation equals cultural appreciation. They're two different things. Cultural appropriation: here's a ceremonial native headdress that only certain people wear in their culture, let's turn it into a crappy Halloween costume. Cultural appreciation: here's a style of sari that I wear for a specific reason at a specific location for a purpose, not because I want to cosplay as an Indian person or give their culture a test drive. My cousin invited white people to her South Asian wedding and they went out shopping and chose appropriate clothes because it was appropriate. I'm tired of explaining this shit. That's nice tea. What cultural appropriation is, you melt? LOL. Jesus dude, when will one of these cultural appropriation isn't real threads be made by someone who knows what the concept of cultural appropriation is? This isn't an unpopular opinion, this is an uninformed opinion. No one is against cultural appreciation. Admire all the saris and hairstyles you want. Cultural appropriation has a very specific definition, that Wikipedia, https://en Wikipedia.org/wiki/cultural_appropriation, sums up nicely. Cultural elements are copied from a minority culture by members of a dominant culture, and these elements are used outside of their original cultural context, sometimes even against the expressly stated wishes of members of the originating culture. Wearing a sari to your friend's wedding because you like it is wonderful. Chances are, your South Asian friends will love you for it. But wearing a Native American headdress to Coachella because you think it's neat if offensive if members of that group say so. In fact, the same article goes on to say, critics note that the concept is often misunderstood or misapplied by the general public, and that charges of cultural appropriation are at times misapplied to situations such as eating food from a variety of cultures or simply learning about different cultures.